yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
good.
So, last we sat down and played, you all set out to complete a few tasks that had been set before you. You checked in on how things are going at the winery, which seems to be good, actually. There's some signs of new growth. You provided them with a second gem, and you also got some information about the third. It seems as though they're, in a sense, self-healing. Though you know it's been broken into fragments in order to fuel Baba Lysaga's terrible creations, if you can bring the fragments together, it seems they may rejoin into a whole if you bring enough of them. You also made a trip all the way up the mountain to visit the abbot. When in Kresk, you saw that, well, things continue to be unsettlingly cheerful. And you also obtained a large amount of water, I think an entire water skin from the fountain there. You have some hints that whatever is happening in that spring is likely, one could call it beneficial, but perhaps an overcorrection. To use a modern comparison, which I think I hand waved at last time, you can think of everybody there as a little bit over-medicated on lithium. Everything's just kind of blissed out and great all the time, and it keeps them from being sad, and it keeps them from being old and run down, and minor injuries are taken care of. But rounding the corners off of everything isn't always a good thing either. However, the abbot himself, you delivered the dress for his wonderful daughter, Vasilka, the flesh golem. He was very happy with the quality of the wedding dress and bestowed upon you both his promise of magical assistance and also the benefits of a hero's feast. Please keep in mind everybody can take a long rest for your character sheets here, but maintain that additional max HP. It will last until noon of this day. You also currently have advantage on all wisdom saving throws and immunity to the frightened and poisoned conditions. I believe maybe charmed as well, but I will double check if that comes up. Anyway, you spoke to him about how it may be a poor decision to simply hand over Vasilka, which you know to be a flesh golem in Irina's shape, given that both that might not be ideal for the golem or for Strahd. The abbot seemed to understand your concerns and said he would think more carefully about simply handing her off and spoke about, well, perhaps there ought to be a proper wedding. But regardless, he sent you on your way, and you headed here towards Kazan's tower. Reminder again that inside this space, magic that comes from outside sources does not function, meaning that the Sun Sword is currently silent and inert, nothing more than a regular sword hilt. And also Narlug, that tingle in the back of your mind seems suppressed while you are all here. You began to research through what remained of both Kazan's notes and also a little bit of more information about Rictavio, or I should say von Richten, in what seemed to be a bit of his journal that he intended to destroy. There's also a couple things here of note. It seems that magic, perhaps of Kazan's creation, still works here. You know, the clay golems that function for the lift are active. And also you were able to determine that, we can say you tested it or we can say you just inspected the thing. The suit of armor right next to Ayakobachi's token there is animate and will respond to commands. If you first speak the name Kazan, it will obey you. But you hunted around and through numerous little nooks and crannies, you were able to find some of Kazan's notes and begin piecing things together. However, unfortunately, your group Arcana and investigation rolls were not solid enough to make sense of things instantaneously. These are the mad ravings of an ancient wizard, after all. So I believe you intended to spend the night. In which case, I would just simply like to ask, because it was decided you'd like to keep watch, what order would you like that to be in?
I can watch the first 2 watches if there's 4 total.
That works. Which means that either we can have a double up on one of the others, or somebody gets
I'll
a
do,
super full night's sleep.
Irvir will probably be up early, so he'd probably volunteer to take
The
the
last
last
one.
shift.
Yeah. We get a nice view of the sunrise from up this high.
I can take the one in between.
Okay.
Darling's just gonna sleep his ass off then. Perfect.
Fair enough. In that case, as night progresses while you are here, there is very little of note in terms of active invaders. However, I will say, I think each of you, due to the length of a watch, there's no perception check required, would notice that things seem to be behaving oddly. Not only is there not a particularly high wind outside, and yet the tower kind of sways and groans in an unseen wind, but the shadows behave oddly, flickering as though there are unstable candle lights in here, despite all of the lighting being magical and therefore sort of equivalent to modern day LED lighting, nice and steady. But the shadows seem to have a bit of a mind of their own. Throughout the night, you would swear you hear footsteps on the floors below, but riding up the elevator, you noticed that both the second and third floor of the tower don't have much floor left. And in particular, I think you would also, on the last watch, Irvir, witness that the stove, the front of it would open and then close again. And then the pot that just kind of sits there would scrape a little bit in its own movement. Some sort of echo of habits and actions taken here in the past, as well as everybody who sleeps in the tower has unsettling dreams. I would like all of you, please, to roll me a wisdom save with advantage due to your hero's feast, and also an intelligence save.
Is it magical?
Yes, but your item does not work here.
Oh, thank God I had advantage.
Okay, let's see. Narlog, int save 17. Checking ints first. Let's see.
That's right,
Relmir,
advantage, right?
on the wisdom save, but not on the intelligence save, Relmir.
Okay.
So for you, that is a natural 1. Let's see.
Oh.
Akabachi, int 12. Okay. Double checking the wisdoms real quick. 14 is the low. The wisdom save is somewhat superfluous. However, I will give you a little bit of flavor, Narlug. You did fail, but you are currently immune to the frightened condition. Which means that
Well, I rolled I failed on a 20 for the wisdom.
Where's the second one?
very
Oh,
bottom.
no, I guess you did not fail. But it does not matter. In that case, I suppose they're not as terrifying. But each of you dreams of something similar, though not identical. I'll describe kind of the vibe of it, but the details may differ between you. You wander a massive library. One that extends so far in each direction you cannot possibly see the end of the rows. And
So
as
many
it kind
books.
Yes.
Am I wearing glasses and they break?
No. But the thing that is unsettling beyond just this infinite liminal space lit poorly by a lantern that you carry in your hand is the whispers that come from the shelves. At first, you think it must be something else here with you, a creature or something, but you hear no footsteps, no breathing, and eventually you're called to investigate closer to one of the shelves themselves, and you realize that it's muttering from the books and scrolls, the words held there on the pages, captive forever, screaming for release. And as you select one of those written word, be that book, scroll, ancient tome, whatever it is, pull it free from the shelf and crack the cover, you are thrown from sleep as a scream echoes in your ears. None of you are subjected to being frightened, but it seems as though something here has attempted to do so. However, the two of you that failed below the 15 on the int save here are Ayakobachi and Ralmir. For the next month, which I assume will encompass the remainder of this campaign, you will find being in such a place, a grand sprawling library, to be deeply unsettling. That means you will subtract a d4 from skill rolls in those places, unless you can find some way to remove this minor curse. Though I suppose you'll probably not be aware consciously that that's the case until something triggers that. So I will make a note.
Wow, I wonder where we could find a vast library of old ancient knowledge. I wonder.
There are two of them.
Sure, it's not going to come up.
But yes, each of you shares this dream. Though again, if someone goes, yeah, I dreamed of a massive library, you'll notice as you compare the details, they're not identical. Like the shape of the shelves may not be the same. In one of you there were big stone, carved things, and another they were aging oak shelves, and one of you was in a library full of leather and gold, bound books, and another they were more loose papyrus, etc. But yes, the theme seems obvious, especially given what you all know. The final thing is for you, Ayakobachi. On the second watch cycle, so a couple hours into the night, there is a scratching and a scrabbling from inside the box where that head was stored.
Well, I could. Is it completely sealed when it's shut, or think Webber
Yeah,
can squeeze in through the crack?
I suppose Webword's pretty small, right?
Tiny spider. Maybe a keyhole you can climb through.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like big old, iron keyhole on the front. Sure. Yeah, you think you want to send him on in there?
I'll find familiar Webber on in there, and then use my ability to see through his eyes and see what's going on inside that case without opening it.
Sure. As you do. Okay, yeah. I think there's no reason that your vision would be too distorted or anything. I think you might have to move a little bit to kind of see what's going on.
Yeah,
So
Webber
the head
would have dark vision too, which helps.
Yes. Depending on how carefully you guys would have put it back in, you might have to kind of reposition a little bit until he can see its face, but it's clear that the jaw is moving, that it's mouthing something, and that periodically it's kind of bumping against the side of the box, which is that scrape you keep hearing. And I mean, you've got him for a while, right? So there's no need for a snap skill check here. I think if you focus on it, sooner or later you could decide, or you could, what's the word I want? Parse that what it is mouthing over and over is words. And it says, although it doesn't speak, it has no lungs or vocal cords, I must wear the helmet. Over and over and over.
Understood. Well, I will give Webward a pet, and then we'll spend
Yeah,
the
it
rest
comes
of
scuttling back out, and
we'll watch the rest of the watch together.
Okay.
And then when eventually, I think after me it would be Raumir. I will tell him about I must wear the helmet. Tell Urvir when your shift's over.
Sure.
And yeah, I'll just watch the rest of my shift.
And especially, I guess you are sitting right next to it. There is only one helmet in the room. Question is whether or not it's that helmet. But yes, other than that, you all allow the night to pass without any real drama, and would awake rested the next morning.
And I'll get up with a stretch, and I'll say
In a bend?
In a bend. And when everyone else is up and about, I'll fill the group in without going into too much detail. My watch was pretty uneventful, and that head was mouthing, "I must wear the helmet," just to fill in. Let's see what everyone thinks that they want to do.
So there's a helmet, like, in the room.
Yes,
suit
right
of armor.
here is like a full suit of plate mail on an armor stand.
Oh, okay.
The animated armor set.
Oh, okay. That. I'm gonna take a closer look at the helmet to do an investigation roll.
Sure. Go ahead and give.
This intrigues me.
Actually, you're working with a clue here. Well, doesn't matter. I was going to say roll with advantage, so you did. Yeah. So, interestingly, as you're looking at this, I think you lack the specific magical knowledge to decipher the runes, but with that nat 20, you know exactly what... You just have like a sense. This is important. This doesn't match the rest. And by asking Narlog back and forth, you determine there are 2 enchantments here. Not only is the armor enchanted, it looks like there's some sort of... Well, it's not exactly like a arcane mouth, which is like basically you can like record a message and leave it behind, but it's something very similar. Layered along the inside of the helmet, you get the feeling that adding the component of a skull, though it seems it need not be peeled and cleaned, inside this will allow speech to come from it. And that seems to be different than the enchantment that would cause the armor to come alive. And I should note, that's only inside the helmet. There is nothing connected to the rest of the armor that seems to be part of this secondary enchantment. Meaning that if you are concerned about, shall we say, plugging in a USB drive you found on the ground, you don't have to actually leave it attached to the bit that could come to life and do anything to you. If you wanted to take the head, put it in the helmet, and set it on the desk, you probably could. But it seems as though this might be some sort of contingency plan. A way to get a message across.
Okay. That has to be like a human skull.
Mm-hmm.
About a flesh golem skull. Get her to talk.
She does have a skull. It's borrowed from something in the graveyard out in Kresk.
Is it the mind of the skull that will talk, or is it the mind of the armor that will talk?
You get the feeling it's the mind of something else entirely.
Ah.
It needs a component to let it speak through. It needs a focus.
Well, why not give it a shot and see what it has to say? Maybe it could help us in our hunt.
Would be a damn shame if it uttered a command word that exploded us
That is a concern.
in an environment where You guys aren't feeling particularly targeted after last night or anything? Or
Let's see. No, I'm just fucking.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We could always
how do you
investigate
feel about
outside
books
of the-
this morning, Narlug?
Narlow
Narlock
likes
feels
books.
fine about books. Sayakabashi and Rollmere, they feel a little paranoid about books this morning.
Narlow woke up with a morning wood after that.
So I saw a pot move itself last night during my watch. Something's not right. I can't believe that they were using this as a base and didn't deal with this shit.
Yeah, I was in an endless forest, and all the trees were filled with shelves with books on them. I'd never seen anything like it.
There you go. That's fun. I like that.
Tree's nightmares. What have you done to him? Heard about the books.
And then put the
Although-
books back inside of them, which is even cooler if you
Right.
think about it, you know?
Right? It's like when you make fried chicken, you're taking the chicken and cooking it as babies.
Books are
Chicken and
kind of
eggs,
trees.
yes.
Books are kind of trees, I suppose. Though at the time they likely used vellum,
Probably.
more animal skin.
Well-
But you did raise an interesting point there earlier. They were using this as a base and did not seem to bothered by any of this. Which means either it's new, or they determined it to be non-threatening.
I was gonna say, maybe there's like a keyword we have to say. Just cut it off.
Feeling like we would have been warned.
Yeah.
So it's probably new. And maybe it has something to do with madman ravings on pieces of paper.
That's fair.
If I theoretically wanted to deal with some sort of form of knowledge-based madness, I would maybe borrow it from some sort of message from Cthulhu or other aptly named game.
But yes, regardless, there is more information to be pieced together here, but it's up to you whether or not you wish to do anything with this message, potentially, and or fireball. But
What probably, well, yeah, we think it connects to something else.
yeah, you get the feeling this is the other side of Ascending Stone, give or take.
Yeah. But, so, if we treat it like Ascending Stone, it cannot be the origin of magic.
Correct. Yeah,
But
this is a weird arcane telephone that functions in a bizarre way.
Yeah.
But as far as you know, like the idea of casting through something like that is, well, that would be magic that Morden Kanan himself would struggle with.
Well, I say the hook is baited. We might as well bite a little bit.
Agreed.
And, you know, the
Should-
head's already up here.
Yeah, you think it probably is a better idea to use that than one of your own heads. I will point that out.
We don't need to go decapitate Basilka.
Right? I could hold down that suit if we get paranoid about it coming with the head.
Well,
Yeah,
we can
sure.
detach the helmet.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
I know, but you were
If you need
saying
to.
just in case there's like a command word. I guess the command word could just be explosion and it blows up. But
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to like take a moment, you just take some rope and I mean, it's not like it's squirming. You
Yeah,
can just tie
I
it down
mean-
with your hand.
I also got like some oil too, so I could like put it like right in front of him though. So if he tries to come at us, he'll just flip.
it's like a slips.
It's like how you
across-
stop a Scooby-Doo ghost.
Yes. Yes, and then I'll let go and the bag of sand will fall on top of him. I'm gonna go and pick up the head, and Yakubachi doesn't realize how slippery it is. They're like fumble it a little bit. Oh, drop it.
And it is kind of slippery because it's been like coated in weird preservative oils and
Urger
wax.
physically winces.
Thump.
Sorry about that.
That dental buff out.
5 second rule. Malara.
Gotta grab a
princess.
cord real quick. Be right back.
Okay.
And I'll hand it to Raumir if he wants to maybe throw it on the table or I don't know, wherever we could put it. It's not on the. See what it's all about.
Yeah, I just take like a closer look at it. Just out of curiosities. Yeah, just
Sure.
out of curiosities.
So this is something that was pointed out last session, but I'll point it out again. It is definitely the head of a Vistana. Shares a lot of their very similar features: high cheekbones, strong chin, sort of like darker, dusky skin. Not to mention that there are still some bangles and bits in the braided hair. But what you would notice is there are several like little pinpricks around the cranium that are, I think Arvir would have pointed out, signs of the Speak with Dead skill having been used on this. But other than that, this looks like a clean sword cut that kind of took it off like, right under the chin.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to do an investigation. It's just, like,
God damn.
normally when there's like dead shit though, that's just something my character likes to look at.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Like I said, a cleared,
Perhaps a thin
like,
blade from a
skillful-
cane sword.
it does look a whole lot like that.
Yeah, I did read the journal page. I don't know if everyone else did.
Mm-hmm.
I did not read it all the way through.
Any interest in summarizing there, Mike, or calling out anything that you're drawing a connection to here?
Well, not big connections, but the big takeaways were that Van Richten's son was given to the Vistana. He was made a vampire. Van Richten had to put his own son down. He has sworn vengeance upon them, but also, apparently he met a lich, and the lich was like, have an undead swarm. And Van Richten kind of let the undead swarm rip it apart some Vistana. And also, one of those Vistana apparently cursed him, which to me flagged as a very potentially real curse. Just because that's how they've kind of seemed so far, and also why we're here. So that curse may very well be real.
You have also heard...
Live you always among monsters and see everyone you love die beneath their claws.
Mm-hmm. You have heard mention, both from Madame Eva and I think from Relda, that, Vistani bear the evil eye. And they both act as though that's a very real thing. But yes, to you, I suppose if you're just curious about the dead body, this looks like an expert kill. Perfect, clean, right between two vertebrae.
Edric can get a little antsy. Killed one. Speak with the dead. Get some info from it. Did not talk to it beforehand. Said I'll just wait till it's dead.
Well, it does simplify the interrogation process a little bit. But yeah, you kind of just like plop it down on the workbench, I suppose, Ralmir.
Yeah.
Okay. And then all that's required is undoing the helmet, which just it's like strapped into place so it stays on because there's not a head in the armor to keep it there. But yeah, with a little pop, you're able to free that. And if you want, just place it on top. Is that what you're doing?
Whoever executes it.
Zeki, I think. Oh, there we go.
Whoever executes the putting the helmet on may be the one asking the question. So, I don't want to do that. Whoever would like to, please feel free.
If there's questions. Who
Possibly.
knows? You don't know what's gonna happen. I assume speak with the dead would just be a whole ass different thing. But who knows?
Yeah.
I assume this is more like a telephone call.
I didn't have much etiquette in that growing up, so maybe
True.
someone else who used such magic.
Akabachi yelling into a banana in the middle of the woods.
Just cans,
Hello!
things. Just a cans on strings lined up all throughout the woods.
But yeah, I don't know. Irvir, you deal with the dead. Do you want to do this, or would you like
If
somebody else
Romir's
to?
handling the head and shit, I mean, Derby will probably stand close by, keep
Sure.
an eye on shit.
Okay. But yeah, Rolmir, then you carefully lower the helmet into place and kind of, make sure it's centered. And right as you kind of like align it correctly, the eyes pop open, and at an absolutely deafening volume. Hello, yes, hello, is this thing on?
Can you hear me? Good.
I just say back hello.
And there's one moment. And there's like a kind of like arcane squeal as there's like feedback. Perhaps this is better. Yes, I believe I can hear you. To who am I speaking?
What if I just be honest? My name.
Just ask back, who am I speaking to?
Who am I speaking to?
You speak with the specter of the great wizard Kazan.
Neat. Yeah, I'll just say it. Yeah, my name's Ralmir. Just figured to see what this whole armor is all made out of.
Come now, boy. Surely you don't expect me to buy that one.
Okay, fair enough.
There's like a, how do I describe? So like, I'm trying to get it across in the speech, but this is like kind of crackly, like think like an old, like kind of decayed record. It comes through like, not quite old-timey radio, but slightly distorted.
Like
like
a lot
whatever
of-
this is
like
old and has kind of decayed a little bit. It's not
Like a
super
lot.
clear.
A lot of popping sounds.
Yes. Yes, well, I think we could dispense with the I just wandered in here and happened to plug the head into the helmet. Clearly you got my initial message, and now we can, well, continue on with the conversation.
Okay. And then I'll just, I guess, talk about, just like all of his mad journal entries, trying to make sense of
Sure.
what he planned on doing here was.
Well, that's the thing. I can talk a little bit about the plan, but, well, given when this, how do I simplify it? This capture of the state of my mortal soul was taken. We'll keep it simple. I assume you're not some grand scholar, or you already would have made sense of what I've left behind. I can't tell you about the end, more the middle. But, let's see. What do you have? I think you'll need to either sort of point me at it or hold it up in front of me. Unfortunately, I don't have a neck.
Let's give him a hand.
Would be appreciated, but it doesn't work that way. Oh, you meant like an assist. Yes, that would be excellent.
Couldn't help myself.
So, are you not a lich?
I wouldn't know. That was sort of the intent, but... Oh, you mean this recording? No, this is... Well, again, it would be a lot to explain, but this right here in the helmet, in this convenient meat puppet, no.
But the other you.
I
Maybe.
hope so.
Oh dear.
Hell yeah. Well,
But yeah, you're just gonna kind of like start start holding shit up, and he's like,
I'll pick him up, or I'll hold the things, whatever's convenient.
We
Sure.
kind of sorted out stuff yesterday when we
yes,
let him
exactly.
go, right?
You seem to kind of do your best to arrange
My
things.
yarn board with just things attached.
yes. And with a little bit of kind of pointing him at stuff and him going, no, that's out of order, or, I never did research the incantation of, Agathon the Wise. Well, at least I hadn't yet. You kind of point him at shit, and he does his best to parse it for you. And as you do, in this, again, kind of flat, extravagant tone, he talks a little bit as you're kind of indicating things about what was required and what he had already done and what he wished to do. And I'll kind of condense it down into a summary, but he rambles, he's hard to follow, and this probably takes a good 30 minutes to get out. It all started with our conquest of these lands. I was a trusted advisor to our great Lord Strahd. Yes, he was so strong. Truly a proper figure to lead an army. He trusted me as his advisor for many years, and any challenge he brought to me, well, I was able to accomplish it, mundane or magical. He was an excellent student as well, one to take quickly to the wizardly ways. That old hag, Lysaga, always swore that it was due to her tutelage that he grew into a powerful mage, but I am quite convinced that without me, he would have been a parlor magician at best. And, kind of, that's sort of the beginning, as you see, his scribbles about, their military campaigns outside of Barovia. Once we settled in the valley, of course, it became time to build proper fortifications. I was involved heavily in the design and construction of Castle Ravenloft, of course. So many secret passageways, so many clever traps. Oh, truly, it's something I am and always will be proud of. But, well, it was never quite up to his standards. He insisted that we go ever more esoteric. More wards, more protections. There was something driving him to paranoia, though I know not what it was. And it was that, his insistence that we were not protected enough, that we would not last long in this place, that drove me, well, and a little bit of my own desire for power, of course, to seek out that dreaded place in the mountains, the Amber Temple. And here you see a clear cut in his notes, where it goes from kind of normal script, which is still the ravings of a megalomaniac. This guy was smart, but he was always yes, I have created the grandest design ever, and people will sing the praises of this, through the ages. There's a lot of bullshit in his writing that is just him basically, through a literary lens, jerking himself off about how great he is. But it switches from that to tight, cramped, not even full cursive anymore, as though this is any proper writing. It's just scratched notes past a point. And actually, as the head gets to this point, no, point me somewhere else. But you do see there are a clear set of pages in a row in this kind of hurried, nervous hand. And while it's too much for me to just simply read out, 6-7 pages of text, not that it's provided to me, what you would see is a detailing of his ascent up the mountain and into the depths of the Amber Temple. It speaks of this ancient order that once created this place, and how they never accepted visitors, and anybody who entered was not permitted to leave. There is a dangerous ascent up the Solinka Pass, past a narrow and guarded bridge that leads across a crevasse high in the peaks. He speaks of a massive bird that attempted to slay him as he passed, and though he struck it down with magic, it did not stay dead for long. Eventually, He climbed to the peaks and found the entrance. Not as grand as he was imagining, and yet he could feel power echoing from deep within. He trod those dank, empty halls, and he describes in his notes a constant feeling of being watched, of an endless rustling and whispering in the darkness, voices calling out to him, offering grand things: power, knowledge, immortality. And though he was there at first in order to seek knowledge, in order to complete these projects that Strahd wished of him, this, you see clearly, is the moment that he realized, well, if I'm going to help someone else seize immortality, why not seize it for myself as well? At a certain point, his notes devolve into actual scribbles. Like, you think he thought he was writing words, but it's just like, looks like a heartbeat written out on the page more than actual letters.
Hey.
But right before that point, he describes listening to a specific voice that called to him. And that he approached one of the sarcophagi, though he does not describe it, that is the word he uses, the sarcophagi, and placed his hand upon it. And here is where there's literally pages of just nonsense. Like he was tracing a pen over the page in a trance or something, and it ends with a single word, or a single phrase: I found it. But yeah, if you point him away from that for a while, surely you would rather look at the notes about how I managed to make the castle itself come alive. Whether or not you listen is up to you.
Knowing both is probably good.
Yeah, I'd like to know that.
Yes. This was a wonderful trick. And yeah, you kind of pan him past where you've kind of laid out all the ramblings about his actual trip to the temple. And here, this is a lot of diagrams that probably don't make any sense to anyone but Narlug, but he would explain. It's basically one gigantic ritual that was built into the castle itself. It pulls from the souls of those that dwell there, and it uses them to fuel the castle's life. And you see, as he kind of explains, this is literal. You've heard other people talk about a heartbeat that they hear in Ravenloft. And it turns out the castle has a heart. Of course, I know where I installed it, but I don't know whether or not that's where it remains. As you can see, it's, well, shall we say, portable. And yes, though he describes it as a heart, and people talk about the heartbeat, he talks about the heartbeat, it is a massive crystalline structure. It bears a similarity to a human heart, but not perfect. Though you can see that it must be 10 feet high, perhaps even larger. Truly, if you ask me, the most potent arcane battery ever created. It's what keeps all of the wards running. It's what, well, makes the place as special as it is. I would so love to see it again. And he kind of trails off, staring off into space for a moment.
Surely there would be some sort of backup for it, right? Well, what would happen to the castle if it broke?
Well, it is self-repairing. Though I suppose in its stead, well, the Lord is the pillar upon which his people stand, and so is true of the castle as well. I do believe that Lord Strahd, especially in his current state, would be quite capable of sustaining the enchantments for an extended period of time, even. Though, it's interesting you mention that. I suppose, if it were broken, some of the protections extended to him may no longer function. Well, in the short term.
Give a thumbs up behind the head.
Yeah, he's clearly got a case of the brain scramblies. Like, he's just happy to hear himself talk. He has not considered the fact that he is leaking military intel right now. Let's see. What else? Is there anything specific you'd like to point him at?
I have some questions.
Oh,
This
yes,
isn't-
my boy.
This isn't necessarily about the castle, though, but I know he mentioned La Saga, and seeing if what he knows about her.
Ugh, regrettably, far more than I would like to. She was, she was the boy's nursemaid. Though, usually one would give up such duties when the child is able to walk and talk and eat on their own. She remained obsessed with him, even well into adulthood. In fact, she was brought along on every campaign that he ever waged. If you ask me, he tolerated her more than anything, but she insisted constantly that it was her grand workings that kept him safe, kept him so successful, swearing that she had molded him into the man that he was. This was a constant annoyance to, in particular, his brother, seeing her as nothing more than a crazy old hag that had attached herself to greatness and refused to know when she'd been properly spent. I guess he can't gesture, there's no hand. Mage hand, just... No. But, well, I was never fond of her. You see... Well, it takes an obsessive to know an obsessive. And her fixation on Lord Strahd was uncomfortable.
He's
she's
dead
out of
now.
she's out of the picture, so you ain't got to worry about her anymore.
Oh, wonderful!
I would just like to know
I
a little bit about her.
Would get what was coming to her. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just curious about her, if things about her though, because Strahd kind of showed up after I killed her. So.
Oh, you killed her.
Yes.
Jolly good job. Well, like I said, it was more his brother and his family that were irritated by her. I suppose Lord Strahd... I wouldn't say that he... And he kind of thinks... I wouldn't say he loved her in any true way, but I do think he believed some of the poison she poured in his ear about her being the reason for his greatness. Though, well, even at the time that this facsimile of myself was created, he had begun to grow tired of her presence, sending her away more and more often, insisting that he had no time for her inane ramblings. Which, if you ask me, if an immortal tells you they don't have time for you, yikes.
We have a budding wizard amongst ourselves. Would you happen to have advice to them on if they were looking to hide a phylactery, where they might put it?
I know Narlog's all about phylacteries. He's always wanted to hide one, right?
Darla can't
Yes.
get enough of the stuff.
Yeah, you kind of point him at Narlug, and you see the eyes kind of give him like the full up and down. Oh, no. You are far, 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 far too young to be considering phylacteries. Look at you. You've barely got any wrinkles at all.
Oh, he's got like little stubble, like his hair is just not as frizzy, not as many grays as you would expect.
One can't start planning too early.
I suppose so. But that's sort of like, well, having extra sweets to congratulate yourself on becoming more fit before you've even begun working out. No, it's far too personal of a thing. People would pick places special to them, or tied to meaningful events, I suppose, in one's own journey. Even I have no idea where I would have picked for phylacteries. I'm sure I came up with something quite clever, though.
I definitely have some places in mind from my childhood that I'd hide mine. How about all of us just share a place that we think that we would hide it, and from our past? What's special to you, Narlug?
10 out of 10. And you can see him, like, comically going, as he kind of thinks. Well, I'm not going first.
I grew up in a monastery, so I think I'd hide it right in plain sight, right under their noses where they'd never think to look.
Oh, it's
Man,
smart.
Darlo grew up in an orc camp that has a little library, and I'm pretty sure orcs don't like reading.
Yeah, you put it in the library where no one will go because they're all afraid of the books. Written word. Yes, I suppose that's clever. Put it somewhere where no one would look. Well, if I'm being honest, sort of always loved the idea of burying one important thing in a gigantic batch of unimportant things. Say, at the bottom of a chest full of assorted riches, why not use a single copper piece that is likely to be overlooked? Well, I mean, how else are you going to cart back 7,000 pounds of gold coins? You would leave the change.
Does make sense. Where would one hide a chest full of money?
Now, boy, you won't pry my secrets out of me, he said, having just divulged about 35 minutes of secrets. Have you considered a bank?
Well, that's what I was thinking. That theoretically, someone were to raid the treasury of Castle Ravenloft. Of all the things they could grab, why would they grab that one copper piece?
Well, they'd have to get past the Manticore.
The what now?
What? I love NPCs like this, I'm sorry. But yeah, he just goes, what? And gives you like a...
Manticore. Remember that one.
I knew exactly what I was fucking thinking of when he said that. What you got there? A smoothie?
Yeah! Yes, same energy. But yeah, he just kind of goes quiet for a moment. So... yes, as I was saying, and he just kind of dives back into rambling again about the, specifics of the castle. Now, keep in mind, a lot of what he's saying, if he is to be believed, is what he knew at the time this thing was made, And you know Kazan has been a lich and then missing for like 150 years at least. So this is outdated information, but it is still good things to keep in mind.
Why leave the Echo?
Well, you see, how do I put it? I've always seen myself as something of a mentor, I suppose. I did teach Lord Strahd quite a bit of what he knows. He's a very talented evoker, and, well, a lot of that comes from me, if I'm being honest. And I suppose, well, if you accumulate enough knowledge that it starts to spill over from your mind, why not leave assistance for the future generations?
You familiar with Mordenkainen?
Well, not personally, but yes.
Nah, that answered my second question. Never mind.
Oh,
Do you know anything about
he
their?
is an asshole.
Do you know anything
I
about
believe
their battle in Svalich, the Svalich Woods? Between
Wait, their battle? Mordenkainen and who?
Strahd.
You see him kind of thinking, no, I feel like I'd probably remember that. I assume Lord Strahd won?
I assume too.
Probably
I
more of a
assume as well.
stalemate.
Maybe, yeah.
Wait, but point me out the window. East, southeast. You gotta like point him at the window, the curtains.
If we take
vaguely
you
in
out of the
direction
tower, can you
castle.
still talk? Do you want to just come with us?
I don't think that's a very good idea. Can't say I've ever tested that before, but the spell is kind of tied to the stones of this place.
Well, if we take the stones, just kind of.
Also, not a good idea. Presumably you weren't killed by the. Presumably you weren't killed by the lightning bolt trap out front, which means you solved the door. But yeah, if you try to damage the tower itself, surprise, more lightning. Again, I can't gesture, but you know.
So you point him out at the Svalich Woods.
Yeah, you point him off in that direction. Well, castle's still standing. That's a good sign. Oh, yes. Oh, that's a solid brood storm. No, Strahd must have won. Talking about the, weather over the castle, whatever. Strahd gets in a mood.
Would have been a good day to
Shame,
cast.
really?
Go
I
ahead,
would have
Kazan.
liked to watch that. Again, never met Mordenkainen myself, but, well, as much as I hate to admit it, given all reports, he is quite talented, and, well, it would take a fool not to think you can learn something from your similarly skilled peers.
He does have a spell named after him, although I've never heard of a wizard bringing cats to life either, so perhaps Ravenloft should be Kazan's wacky room tower.
We'll workshop the name, but I like the idea. Wait a second. You said the word Kazan. The
Stay.
armor. Yeah, I was gonna say, as you say the word, well, yes, but fuck it. The armor would and turn to face Ervir.
Hell yeah.
Lay down.
Thump. You know,
Or just
I
shrug.
thought I programmed a little bit more dexterity into that. He doesn't
Shoddy
mean
work.
the stat. He means lowercase d. Well, it probably hasn't been oiled in a while.
I have,
Anyway.
I have lantern oil.
I suppose that would work in a pinch.
We have normal oil.
Uh.
Presumably.
Normal oil.
Not explicitly in our belongings, but because that's basic weapon maintenance.
Yes. Yeah, he keeps muttering normal oil. Pfft. Clearly, this person doesn't know anything about alchemy.
Well, what kind of oil do you have? Or suggest?
Well, it entirely depends on what sort of ideal movement you're expecting out of the construct. And he just rambles off a bunch of stuff, like, different extracts of ooze and, like, wringing out the goop from a sea hag's hair and this, that, and the other. And he just goes on and on and on until
What makes it?
let him peter himself out.
RKOing a rock off of a mountain.
Out of nowhere.
What? The armor with a perfect RKO.
Boom.
But yeah, he just rambles, and it's clear that like he is a crazy person, but he has a lot of knowledge. But yeah, he talks, about this would be better if you're looking for longer lasting. This is better if you're looking for the short term, but the absolute best, smoothness you could possibly want out of the joints, etc., etc. But he does eventually circle back around to, yes, fine, regular old armor oil would work.
I just want the dexterity and the kneecaps.
Well, just the kneecaps. You're looking for a particular species of toad native to... Oh, what was that region again? And he thinks. Well, we passed through. I suppose in Cavicius you could find the horned... Oh, horned what? Horned spotted... Well, shit. They're bright yellow.
Do any of us know Cavicius?
I don't think so. There is
I don't
a
think we know if
very
he's originally from Faerun or not.
well.
We know.
You know that Strahd and his warband are from the core, which
Right.
is the greater plane that was fragmented in all of these domains of dread. But Cavicius actually is somewhere there's a small chance you've heard of. So religion?
Can I roll nature, see if I know that horned frog?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, nature.
I never heard of shit.
Yeah, this is like an esoteric,
Yeah.
quasi-elemental outer plane. Nature, 14? I don't think so.
But not
The
knowing
horned-
it also.
I'm gonna
kinda
tell
gives
you
me the
anyway.
info I was looking for.
The horned combustive squelcher. But you would not know. Mike, you as a player, if you're curious, it is a similar demiplane. The Burning Peaks cluster in the Outer Planes, once ruled by the demigod Vecna.
How horrifying. So when you're not talking to us through the head and the helmet, are you still in the tower somewhat conscious, or is this like some automated voice messaging system?
Little bit of column A, little bit of column B. As for me, the me speaking to you, and, well, I would like to say, ever so eloquently explaining my grand design, no, it's just sort of a lights off, lights on kind of thing. Whenever there isn't a head plugged into the helmet, I just sort of cease to exist. It's existentially horrifying. As for the tower itself, probably other similar upkeep enchantments.
So you're not directly responsible for the terrible dream we had while crashing here last night.
Terrible
However,
dream?
you're probably not also responsible for fiddling with the stove in the middle of the night either.
No, that was probably Ethan.
Who?
Excuse me?
Oh, Ghost. Don't worry about him. The stove, not the dreams. I don't think he's that kind of ghost.
Um,
Between you
What?
and I don't actually know what his name is. That's just what I've always called him.
Yeah, I just need to see if Eyes of the Grave is magic. It does say magically detect,
Yeah.
but it also says ability.
Spell-like abilities are usually suppressed in anti-magic
Yeah.
as well.
I would agree.
Look, you can't blame me for causing a couple ghosts. I did sacrifice a lot of people in the name of science. You know how it is. You have to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Unfortunately, I think all that really did is have Strahd entomb you at the bottom of his castle. Sorry, boss.
Well, that is unfortunate.
Well, if you had a second chance to kill Strahd, how would you do it?
Second chance. Oh, you mean assuming that I probably tried to kill him before he did whatever he did with me. Which means you haven't met me yet. Interesting.
No, we
Nope.
suspect he's locked you away.
Well, that's not ideal.
Would the real you know that we were talking to you?
Not entirely sure. Maybe? Possibly. Possibly not?
That's helpful.
Well, you see, I'm thinking. At the time I made this recording, I wasn't planning on that functionality, but that doesn't mean that I didn't add it on after the fact.
Like what? Like a 40-60 chance?
Maybe more like a 20% yes, 80% no. I did get bored of projects quite a lot.
I see.
I don't see them carding in new projects.
Well, out of that 20%, hypothetically, how would you take out Lord Strahd?
Well, I mean, he is a vampire. I think the classic is stake through the heart. The wooden kind, not a T-bone.
This dude's dry sense of humor. It's killing me.
Well,
Go.
I mean, look, we've been talking about it. The castle is an impenetrable arcane fortress. You're welcome to try, but, well, you're also likely to end up as snacks?
Okay.
You'd have to disable the castle, whittle him down, chase him back to wherever he makes his blasted bed, and finish the job. As for the details, well, it's been a while. What year is it? You have no idea what year it is here in Barovia, I don't think.
Yeah, we never asked that.
Nope.
Surely there's a calendar somewhere that we saw in a tavern.
Yeah, let me see. I'm actually not sure I know what year it is in Barovia. Hang on. We can say you can give him a number. Oh dear. Well, in the last 342 years, plans may have changed slightly. Though, again, immortals always thinking they have a way of getting around to things eventually. It also might be exactly the same as it always was.
Well, if you had to sneak into this impenetrable fortress, is there like a sewer duct or some other way we could get in without activating it, and so we could disarm
Well,
it?
I certainly wouldn't try the sewer ducts. If I'm not mistaken, there's no less than 7 different whirling blade traps. Also, there is the whole flush the system with rancid water directly into the moat full of crocodiles. Oh, I hope somebody's been feeding the crocodiles. No. If I were to sorry. If I were to make my way into the castle stealthily, well, there are sort of 2 ways to do it. He was fond of inviting people over for dinner. You could just show up and then leave a greater illusion in your place as you cast greater invisibility and waltz out of the dining room. It would probably take at least a few minutes for him to notice. I wouldn't go with a minor illusion, though. Those are always janky, even with lots of practice. You could potentially also use the servants' quarters, servants' entrance. Less traps, though, again, if you don't know where you're going, you're likely to step on one sooner or later.
Let's draw a map.
Yeah,
Would that be fun as a group activity to do?
I'm no calligrapher, but I'm sure we could find one.
Wait, is my map not in that pile of notes?
yeah. I was gonna ask if he and his wait is your scribbles and your is all the scribbles in your writing though? Is that the map for the
Are you
castle?
just gonna, hold it up in front of him?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, you hold up the
are these
page of,
pathways?
unintelligible scribbles, and he just goes, "Ah!" and screams as you point that directly at him. Something tied to the madness he experienced in the temple. And as soon as you just, move them out of his line of sight, he just goes, "What?"
Okay, so that's not a map.
Screaming again. Scream, no scream, scream, no scream. No, that is not a map.
Okay, it's worth a shot.
We're Scooby-Dooing this wizard.
I love the idea of wizards being immensely intelligent and also just absolutely kooky by the time they get to the point of near immortality. Like, he's so detached from regular life that this is the persona he's cultivated.
Right.
But yes, if you help him kind of you page through stuff as you get through, you do find, unfortunately, a corner of a beautifully engraved map, the rest of which has been burned.
Mm.
Little too much for amending, huh?
Probably, because you still would need the ashes.
Okay, so
Why'd
then
you burn the map? Because lay down.
You beat me to it. Squeak. As it sits up and then thumps back onto the floor.
well, I'm going to ask him if he likes puzzles.
I mean, obviously, what sort of wizard doesn't like puzzles?
So it'd be a real fun puzzle though if he could figure out the missing pieces of this map.
Okay. Who's going to shovel out the fireplace and spread it all out on the table? This could take a while. He seems absolutely serious about this proposition.
I mean,
He looks at the fireplace. Is it just a mess of soot?
It's just a mess of soot. And there are scraps of things von Richten burned some of his notes. There have been cooking fires in here. It's not gonna work.
I think you have to recall it from memory.
Huh. Well, I can certainly do that. The whole eidetic memory thing is step 1 of becoming an immortal genius. But minor problem, no hands.
Yeah, you explain it and we'll draw it.
It's a group activity.
Yeah. Narlug, you might need your quill.
Hang on 1 second.
You're a
while I
calligrapher.
consider whether or not this is
Narlock
even
busts out his
possible.
big fancy quill. But what he assumes is a fancy quill, it's not really that fancy.
Oh, let's see.
It's like a chicken feather he plucked out.
Right, I'm thinking like a vulture feather, something disgusting. Feather from a.
Could have been a feather from the scarecrow.
Right.
Let me see. I think it's possible he might be able to give you like a general layout, but I don't know about whether or not I have anything at my immediate disposal that I would be comfortable handing to you.
We can worry about that later.
Yeah.
And just say
Yeah,
to be determined.
Yes.
I mean, we don't need it now.
he could help you to, well, you don't know whether or not this is something you can repeat, although you could try that. I guess.
I was just saying that we could say that we have something mapped. as a
Yeah.
general
Yeah.
Yes, I think, just to be clear though, like, again, with you drawing for him, unless you're willing to spend, like, days here with him going, no, that's, like, 1/8 of an inch too far, you're not going to get anything other than, like, a
These are the
general
rooms.
design.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
like
we know,
this,
like,
in this
what we have
wing,
to
you'll
do on our
find
next
the
visit.
dining room. In this
Yeah.
wing, you'll find, like, that's about what you'll get, but you're not going to get detailed
this
passages
gives us
or
a good
anything.
plan
Yeah.
to make our first foray into the castle, which we can then verify and adjust the map based on what
Sure.
we see for our final assault.
Yes, if you're looking for, like, can he give us a very generalized, like, outline that we can fill in when we're exploring, yes, he can do that
Yeah,
for you.
and maybe mention
Yeah.
some traps that are in particular rooms or wings
Sure.
to at least keep an eye out for, even if you can't be like, it's this tile under the rug that you'll never see.
Yeah, like
Sure.
this room in particular has a trap.
I think what we can do... How do I want to handle this? I'll think about it mechanically, but as you go through, I might give you like a 25% chance of each new room having something that Kazan mentioned.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't think he could possibly list them all out. It is a mega dungeon with, I believe it's like 130 rooms.
Jesus.
It's big.
Huge.
Huge.
So the chance of him going room by room before you all die of old age is small, but
Give us a general
yeah, I
layout,
think
you know,
there's-
like you said.
yeah. Let's see here. There is a very, very, very cool. Hang on. If I snip this, is this going to be safe?
Just general layout, and then when we're actually in there, roll a d4 and we enter a new room to know if we know anything
That's-
about it.
Kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, I think this is detail free enough with how I've scaled this. It's a big dungeon. That is a very cool poster that comes with the actual book, by the way. Also, that is side 1 of 2.
That's cool.
I did see there is a guy on YouTube who is making the entire castle. He is 3D printing the entire thing from the isometric
Holy
metrics
shit.
that are provided.
Mhm.
It's fucking awesome.
I know a guy who 3D printed the Death House. It's been fucking taking up so much space.
But yeah, this thing is like an 8-foot by 8-foot diorama, and he
Yeah.
is creating the entire thing, and it's rad as fuck. But yes, to give you a general idea of scale, this is like too much for him to, and you can even see the bottom right there. Each of those things is a room. Each of those individual little squares. There's a lot to it. But yeah, how do we want to note that? goes on. Attempting to sketch generalized mechanism entering.
And
Mhm.
I also have another question for him.
Mm-hmm.
When at the end of his ramblings, though, when he says, "I found it," what'd you find?
I found what?
You said "it" in your notes.
Ah.
I assume it has something to do with the Amber Temple.
Oh, almost certainly. Um.
I could
Wait.
show you.
Can
I could
you?
show you the note.
Yeah. Can you point me to that again? There's quite a lot all over the floor. Oh, you with the muddy boots. Careful. That's. Oh, never mind. What? Yeah. What are you
Yeah.
referring to? I'm partially confused as well.
There's you put the hand on the sarcophagus and then a bunch of
Yeah.
random
Oh.
pages, and then you said, "I found it."
Yes. Again, if you point him like kind of vaguely towards that, there's like a little bit of the scribbly text. Scream. Recorrect. Yes. Well, I would simply assume that those two letters, IT, especially with the period and the underline, well, the secret of immortality, naturally.
Ah.
Pretty sweet secret.
It is, though not everyone's willing to pay the price.
Well, I mean, you didn't so much pay the price as make other people pay the price, right?
It's
Kind
sort
of
of
how
a...
it works.
No, it's more complicated than that, really. Of course, not that I experienced it, given that I am a facsimile, but...
Yeah, not you, but you.
But me, yes, no, I follow, you follow, we follow. Point being, I'm still not gesturing. I wish I had mage hands that could simply elucidate on all these points. No, to your point of really others paying the price, yes and no. You see, doing such unspeakable things that I will not speak of here, it fractures your own soul as well. Yes, it's not your blood you're spilling, at least not at first. But such actions weigh upon you in a metaphysical way, and I don't just mean feeling sorry for oneself about how many orphans you've slaughtered in order to fill the blood trough. I mean, there are actual physical ramifications that come with such things. Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of a lich that has lovely, youthful skin and long, flowing hair? It turns you into a rotting skeleton on the outside and the inside, my dear.
I assume on the inside that has to have already just kind of been the general case in order to be willing to do a lot of that.
Well, that's sort of what I'm saying, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it means you didn't really pay a price. You were already that way.
Sure,
It
if
just
you
made the
don't
outside match the inside.
value... Well, let me put it this way, he says, looking at your complicated mess of holy symbols. Would you not see it as paying a price? If in exchange for remaining on the mortal plane for all eternity until someone gets the better of you, it being therefore impossible for you to ever pass beyond the veil and join your amalgamation of deities that you've dedicated yourself to in the celestial and or infernal forever after? I'll be honest, I'm a little confused about what all of that is. But my point is this. You give up any chance at that eternal peace in exchange for, well, eternal triumph. It is a price to be paid. I think far too many aspiring young wizards, only into their 3rd or 4th century, don't quite understand that cost.
Are you saying a lich's soul is so fragmented that it can no longer exist after its phylactery is destroyed?
Well,
Simply
certainly.
wigs out?
That's part of what the phylactery is for. It's not the whole thing, of course, but, well, when you shave ever larger pieces off of something, at a certain point, it ceases to be that thing at all.
But you're still kind of you. Magic's complicated, souls are complicated.
Of course, you'd have
Shrugs.
to ask the version of me that actually succeeded. But suffice to say, even by the time this recording was made, it was starting to feel a bit empty. And I don't just mean because I don't exist beneath the chin. I'm glad I got frank with that one.
Seems like less of a sacrifice and more of a gamble.
I didn't necessarily say sacrifice. I said price.
An ante?
Ooh, that's a good way to put it. Because, of course, you do have to remember, even those that start the process don't necessarily succeed. If it was that easy, well, there'd be a positive preponderance of liches roaming the realms.
Well, it's funny you mention that. You always seem to be hearing about one or another.
Well, sure, but we're sort of like arcane apex predators. Sees the blank look. There's
Well, yeah.
only so much territory that one can stake out, but within that, you're sort of the top dog.
Squeaky wheel does get the grease.
There can be only one.
Can't stand out too much.
I loved that movie. What? Not really, but
This is a good movie.
I mean, I liked Highlander. I'm just saying, no,
Yeah.
the Lich has not seen Highlander.
Because I assume you said that in character.
I did it first, but I was clarifying that was a joke. For me, the DM,
Some
not for
rope.
Lich. What'd you say?
There's some rope around.
I mean, literally, his head
Sure,
has been cut
you all
off.
have rope.
This is a cut off head, so I mean, I
I'm
feel
gonna
like it's appropriate.
tie it around the armor suit's waist.
Okay.
Kazan, come.
The armor sits up. It kind of awkwardly, like, scissors itself into a standing position.
You probably should have given this a different command word.
Yeah, right.
Well,
He
you don't
says to the
technically-
head.
you don't actually have to say the command word every time you issue a command. I think it's just you sort of instinctually directing your thoughts in the correct orientation to command it. You're not really familiar with constructs. Look, just think
I
really
will be
hard at
treating
it.
it like a dog.
It is not programmed to bark.
Kazan, speak.
Armor just kind of like turns to you. It looks confused.
Does sign language.
Irvir barks out of the corner of his mouth. Raises a brow and turns to the head.
Really?
Seems magic can't explain everything, now can it?
I mean,
Ugh.
I throw one of my ball bearings and fetch.
Doom.
You throw it at the armor and it like clatters into the neck hole and pings around inside.
Ding, 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 ding.
Rolls out the leg.
Oh my god, we could turn it into an IED.
You absolutely could. Look, I understand I'm something of a captive audience, but I don't get the shtick.
I've asked all my
What?
questions.
You are the shit. I don't have any more questions for that.
Fair enough.
I don't know what else we're getting out of it.
We got pretty much.
We got a lot.
Oh, is there anything you want us to tell you if we run into you?
Is there anything else you want to tell you if we run into you? That's a wonderful sentence. Yes, I think you would. And the head freezes in place. And the jaw kind of goes slack. And the flesh begins to melt off of it until just the skeleton remains, kind of oozing and pooling all over the desk. You do realize I've been listening, don't you?
You could have said hi at any time.
Where would the fun have been in that? And the skull crumbles to dust, the helm clanking onto the table.
Something tells me that he's not going to be as friendly as him.
Well, we didn't really reveal any of our cards, to be honest.
No, you
so-
didn't.
We did share childhood memories, though.
We
True.
did.
And I guess I revealed that I killed Lasaga.
Meh.
They
He
knew
seemed
that
appreciative
already.
of that, and probably would have known that already. The armor walks over and picks up the helmet. Kunk, squeak, squeak. And just stands there stupidly staring at you, Ervir.
But that did answer one of my questions.
It did.
True. Maybe he's not as captured as we thought. Who knows how that shit works?
Right.
He can at least do that. Well, damn shit. Brady, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, where the hunt leads
Yeah.
us back to, we're gonna go back to Valaki and see maybe if a bag came in, and then if not, what would we do? Just wait for maybe a meeting?
Well, we were going to go to... Yeah, well, we could check in on the meeting. We were going to go back down to Perez, maybe.
Mhm.
And also need to scope out the Svalich Woods. Although, we may want to, like, prep a little extra for that, because we're going to be walking past the castle.
Yeah, you're going to be... I think we kind of talked about it. I will move us back to the overhead.
If we
So you
could
can kind of
get
see this.
the bag, go grab the dragon skull and the bones for our homie of his fallen sister slash step. I think it was like his, it was somebody important to him. And then
Oh, yes.
if we do that in one scoop, that'd be pretty key. And then go to Barovia after that. And go.
Well,
Although,
that's-
if we do that, we're probably going to want to immediately come back to Argenbol, so we'll probably also have the fuzz on our tail.
Yeah.
I can't imagine
that
doing
stuff
all
is
that
all,
and
like,
then
in
going
the
to Barovia
crypt.
Village.
That's true. We'll just scat back as quick as we can with it.
Skedaddle.
I get the feeling he'll be very upset that we stole from him.
It is evident if you're talking about all of that. Hang on, let me pull up my castle map. Jesus Christ, there's so many of them. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo.
Also, that guy has to feel like a fucking idiot. Like, I've been listening the whole time, my former self giving you state secrets that I programmed it to do. Fuck, maybe I shouldn't have had it do that.
Maybe those were all, maybe they're just like, false herrings and trying to give us bad info or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, I didn't do any inside
it all-
I
checks.
do have an average int in the high 20s.
I was gonna
Let's
say we could
see.
just take it with a grain of salt,
So, based on what he told you, If you are trying to get into the catacombs, where you suspect that a lot of that stuff would be stored, it seems possible that you could get there from where everything would be taken by the servants. Let's see. So yes, you would need to enter the larders of ill omen, through where the servants would take any of the supplies, and from there make a rather harrowing trek down into the catacombs. But it does connect.
Unfortunately, we also probably need to make another trip back to Kresk.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if we can get the abbot to break the Vistani curse on Rictavio.
Hmm.
I don't know if it'll work. But I have that thought. I was like, well, if that shit's just a fact, like we have to deal with that.
Yeah. I was also thinking too that if we do like we snag the skull, and I have to become a giant bird, Narlug could always enlarge me, and if we had to escape to the Savalic Woods,
Now it's a big ass bird.
right? If we had to
Would be a big bird.
like an escape route, and we had to go somewhere here, I can get us to the ground in 60 seconds as a giant bird, and that'd be like maybe obviously coming back would be kind of tough, but that was just something that I was thinking too. If we couldn't escape this way.
That's a fair point. I will point out again. Just keep in mind the way that you both heard it kind of referred to by NPCs and also seen it demonstrated yourself. Remember right here, right here are those massive gates.
Yeah.
That apparently kind of is I guess you could call it like the core domain for Strahd. He seems to have much more direct control in that area.
Yeah. And what's stopping us from just going around?
Oh, just to try to get to the Savalic Woods? Nothing. You could
Or
certainly
rather, we
take
could just go around the
road
gates.
down and...
Yeah.
Oh, also probably nothing. I was just pointing out that you're kind of aware that sort of like the, how do I do this? Like, general area over here is kind of like, so I guess it's really more like this, is sort of central bad guyville.
What I'm hearing is expect to get jumped.
Not necessarily, just be more careful. So like, if you're heading over there, I guess what I'm saying is he probably can kind of sort of sense you if he's paying attention.
Yeah.
There is one other, if
Would
you
be
are...
very funny to schedule the Basilica shit while we did that.
It would be a distraction.
Yeah.
I could always sending Strahd say, hey, Abbott's got a gift for you.
True.
I wanted to sending Strahd so often. Just because I think it's funny as fuck.
And what is it with
Where's
the
your base killing your dudes?
what is it again with the abbot that you said you wanted to do again?
See if the abbot, since he said he could use restoration magic to remove curses and whatnot, and Von Richten's journal leads me to believe that he does have a Vistani curse.
Okay.
And our journey in Barovia so far tells me that is a very real curse, not like a stereotypical movie gypsy curse,
Right.
but is in fact a very literal thing that is afflicting him and will probably result in our or NPCs close to us death.
Right, exactly. Okay. Like, you don't love me, dude. Don't say you love me. I don't love you.
We have kind of spent some time having him and Relda bury the hatchet, so, she's also like our Vistana ticket into the servants' quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what order does it all happen? I have no idea, but it's probably something that we need to address at some point sooner rather than later. Well,
Yeah.
I don't even know if it'll work, but it's a suggestion. Because I'm sure there's a point where, like, I don't know if we even asked. Like, the abbot might not be able to leave. Or he might be able to, and he just thinks, he's like, well, I might as well be here, because, like, I gotta do something.
Right.
I think he talked about that the first time you spoke to him.
I don't recall.
Well, let's see. Even or odd?
Even.
You don't recall?
Yeah. If he can't leave, then he might not even be able to break that curse, because it's probably all tied together.
Yeah, right.
If he can, then, well, fuck it. Maybe he can break it then. Probably worth a shot regardless.
I think, yeah, it's certainly worth investigating it, even just without a roll. I think you guys know that whatever curse has been placed upon Barovia and Strahd, and you do know, not only because it's the curse of Strahd on the cover of the book, it's been talked about a little bit by Rahadin, who has come to you a few times, Strahd's
He was
valet.
once.
Twice.
Was he drawing the carriage?
No, you saw him in Barovia Village, and then he came to you again up on Yester Hill.
Oh, I do not remember him in Barovia Village.
You don't?
I thought that was Strahd in Barovia Village.
It was both. I think Strahd watched and left fairly early, and Rahadin kind of gave you the basic rundown. But it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The point is, at Yester Hill, Rahadin spoke about how he thinks that the visions of Strahd's homeland in the fog there are meant to torment Strahd more than anything.
Yeah.
That he is just as trapped as everyone else. So whatever curse causes that it's on a whole different level than a Vistana placing a curse upon a person. I think is what you could probably assume.
Yeah.
It may all tie back to the same thing, but like, it's unlikely the abbot could just go, and Strahd is free from his bindings.
Yeah.
But he might be able to fix whatever has been done to Von Richten.
Maybe Von Richten tried to cleanse it himself. Maybe I don't feel like he deserves it. Who knows? Worth investigating. We'll have to talk to him about it. As unpleasant as that's going to be.
And I think there's one other person, if you're talking about that it has players it's been a while, but as characters it has not. Madame Eva has been talked about a few times as also being part of the original entourage, which is interesting because as far as you know, she's human.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe you witnessed through her recalling the memory, her in the camp when they first made landfall here in Barovia. She is also, well, she is human, but she's Vistana specifically. If you're interested in how some of that works, you could also talk to her.
Not a bad call. And it is on the way of a direction.
On the
Don't
way
walk
to
right
the
past it
South
anyways.
Switch. Yep, exactly. So, just pointing that out. Meow?
Well, for now, we'll go back and make base camp in Valaki again, right? Is that the plan?
That
Sure.
makes sense.
Yeah. So, as you make your way out of the tower, collecting what notes you wish to bring with you, though I don't know. I think you would assume it's a bad idea to bring all of these collected arcane scribblings.
Yeah.
We are snagging the Raven pendant, and do we leave anything else here that's really powerful? I don't think
You hid the tome in Valaki, and you left the holy symbol here. So I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
keep that well
So you will
hidden.
take the holy symbol with you? Yes, I assume not
If
wearing it proudly on your neck.
If Ervir doesn't have a rag or something, I'll have something to wrap it up in.
We can probably slip it in the same place I have the Sun Sword.
Yeah.
His prison pocket.
Mm-hmm. There.
Fair enough. So if you will take the holy symbol with you, I assume when I say notes, I just mean like things you copied down that Kazan was talking about, be that the map, etc.
Yeah.
As you leave the area of the tower's protection, you feel the restoration of your magic items. The sun sword returns to its sort of slightly warm to the touch state. Narlik, you have a brief moment of like, the onset of a migraine before it flashes away. And I think you hear just in the very back of your mind, I guess I would describe it as like a faint, somewhere between a faint chuckle and purring as that presence returns. And yes, feeling no longer that kind of heavy muting of all magic around you, you make your way back towards Valaki. It's early in this second morning. You had been told there would be 3 days until the meeting with Lady Wachter would be on the third night. So if you did wish to do some of that, you could certainly head back to Valaki and collect whichever NPCs are required. But this early in the morning, I don't think there's much to be said about either the weather or anything bothering you. The sun tends to be strongest around now, and though there is plenty of mist, you can certainly take either the back road here and save a little bit of time, or you can take the more traveled road to town. Which would you like to do?
I like the back road.
The quicker road, yeah.
Sure.
On the way, we'll ask Yakubach if he knows what manticores eat.
Pussy.
Right? Those sharp teeth. What would Acrobats know about manticores? I know a little bit about them, but
Well, I mean, you're kind of like a big game hunter, right? Like you seek out interesting hunts. Manticores are mythical in the sense that, like, I think everybody kind of knows about them. So I think whatever you know about them without consulting the stat block.
Well, I would mention that I'm not sure what they eat, but I know when they're hunting, they tend to use their tails, which are deadly sharp and shoot spikes at you, and you have to avoid that most of all. And they're just assassins of the air, so I've always encountered them in tall caverns or long, with mountain paths, worked into them, and they'd ambush you from the sky and attack you with those sharp tails. So after that, I don't know what they do when they eat you, but they definitely eat humans and elves and dwarves and most about anything that would find their way into their dens.
Surely there's not a live manticore in the castle, right? That would be preposterous.
Well, what I've experienced in the last few weeks in this place, I wouldn't think I'd ever experience in the Neverwinter Forest, so who knows what you'll encounter.
How would they feed it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
There's not enough livestock to feed it. We haven't seen a ton of wagons coming in to deliver meat to the castle. We know that Vistana are welcome in, but there's also not that many missing people from towns and whatnot.
Well,
Where would the food come from, says man who conjures food out of thin air.
Yeah.
Is a manticore really just going to eat bread and water?
Maybe
I don't think they're picky.
Maybe the manticore in a magical
You would
way.
get sick.
Maybe in a magical way, it's undead. Maybe it's a statue that becomes alive. Maybe it doesn't need to eat.
I thought that too. That maybe it's just an undead manticore.
Yeah.
Meat pies.
Maybe we're giving too many people too many ideas about what might be in the castle.
Based on what we just saw, it could be a construct manticore made of armor. We just spoke to an animated armor, so. Who knows?
Kazan, become Manticore.
Transform.
Did you bring the armor with you, or did you leave the armor in
Absolutely.
the tower?
No, it's coming
Okay. The armor gets down on all fours.
I'm keeping it on its leash.
Yeah, it like gets down
Transformer.
on all fours, and the helm like turns up at an unnatural angle to look at you.
Manticore in disguise.
That's as
What-
best it can do.
What's Manicore's natural predator?
Other Manicores? I don't know.
Something bigger that
Disintegrate.
can fly.
Power
maybe.
word kill.
Adventurers.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
like a lot of large predators in the D&D setting. What eats that? Player characters.
If you've never seen one before, basically it's like almost think of not like a lion, but it's like a lion with wings and like
Yeah.
a crazy sharp
It's like a wyvern.
tail. Yeah.
It's like a lion bat scorpion.
Yeah,
kind of.
lion,
Yeah.
bat, scorpion.
Yeah.
Great wings.
Like, aren't Manicores poisonous? Yep.
I
no,
think
okay.
venomous.
I think they can.
Most
Yeah,
scorpions
venomous,
are
not
poisonous.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
might
suppose
get a
it's probably
tummy ache
also
if you make it.
poisonous if you eat it. Yeah. But yes, as you wind your way through the sort of northern woods here, I think you'd probably come across the hunters from Valaki. Nothing of particular importance, seemingly, that they have to say, but they'd greet you. They have a couple freshly skinned wolf pelts that they've, kind of dressed in the field and have laid over like a big rack that one of them is carrying on his back.
Skewers of frogs.
No frogs. Well, actually,
They gigging out by the river.
no frogs. Yeah, it seems to you that they were probably hunting like in this kind of area here, north of this game trail towards the lake. And yeah, just they tell you that again, they're incredibly sorry for what they had tried to do when they attempted to drown the poor Astana girl. But that if anything, it's been a surprisingly good week to hunt. Like the last couple days have been overly bountiful. So perhaps they misinterpreted the vision, but whatever it is, things have changed. It seems the stranglehold that the lack of food was presenting is a little bit less of a concern than it was. And one of them makes a passing comment, just that he doesn't think anything's different. It's just that time of year. And the other guy is just, wrong. But the other one insists that not only are there more wolves, but they seem to be less starved than usual. They're bringing back more meat and bigger pelts. But yeah, they just kind of, wish you well and say they're heading closer to the shores in order to hunt. And they'll be bringing another shipment of meat and furs within the day.
Yakobachi will
Stay safe.
Let-
Good hunting. Don't
Yeah.
go too far northwest.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
and Yakubachi will bless them with Millar on their hunt, and with his high perception, I'm sure,
Sure.
his walk through the woods, he would have seen some tracks at some point out of just
Yeah, if you want to
natural
point out
instinct.
something you would
And
have
he'll point
spotted.
out something he noticed of a little bit while up to 100 feet and so on to the right, to the left,
Sure.
north, whatever.
And it is always good to have, well, the opinion of another expert. Thank you. If we do catch it, we will be sure to bring you an extra steak. The T-bone kind, not the wooden kind.
I figured that much.
Call
I was
back.
like,
He was coming back, he came back full circle. Cool.
So
a
we
good
walk
one.
away. We'll ask Yakubach if he's noticed like any signs that there might be more deer or other prey animals around. And if not, that maybe that's a different sign of concern.
Well,
No, go ahead.
when I first came to the town, the hunting was so scarce I couldn't find anything. And then later, after the festival, and we exposed the Burgermaster, I was able to hunt and find something. I think it's been getting more plentiful this whole time. I don't know why. Maybe Strahd's more focused on other things and less focused on the game around here, so it's replenishing more.
Well, we know that the weather is reflective of his mood. It's just the game reflective of his mood? And their wolves don't turn into mist.
Yeah,
It's true.
I wouldn't say
This feels like a game.
I wouldn't say that Strahd's weakening. It almost seems as if he gives people something, now he could take it away and really crush their spirits.
My thoughts are aligning pretty closely to yours.
Akabachi, that is a very astute observation. And while we are about to wrap for the day, you can start the next session with an inspiration.
Oh shit! I hear calling Strahd out.
Yeah, I thought this shit was fishy for way too long, especially with Zach's description like, oh, it seems kind of clear today. Oh, it's a little bit warmer. I was like, ain't no fucking way, bro. I know damn well. I had the mention of like, yeah, it's just the Mist Wolves and blah, blah. Like, yeah, he's fucking with everyone.
Maybe Beth is just giving him good sexy time, dude. And he's just in a good mood.
It's possible. Poor
I
Bev.
figured he's really happy that Baba Lasaga's dead, or he's ready to start fucking back.
But yeah, as
Too
you kind of
paranoid.
ponder that, and you wend your way along this, it's basically an overgrown game trail up here. You get the feeling that the only people that travel this are probably those two hunters and maybe the werewolves. Yeah, you make your way back to the four-way crossroads just west of Valaki. I would say probably around, let's say, I don't think you would have been sleeping in, but you did take quite a while talking to Kazan, probably 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning, give or take, as you make your way back across the Luna River and towards town. And as you do, pulling out of the woods, followed by just like an absolute billow of fog, even though there really isn't too much normal fog, is Aragol's large sort of merchant's wagon. And he kind of waves. Excellent timing. Though I still need to ensure that, well, the contents of my wagon have successfully made the transit between realms. He smirks. If you swing by in perhaps an hour or so, I should have that item we spoke about, Mr. Ayakubachi.
Perfect.
The fog was fortuitous. The weather did not change too much. And he just kind of smiles and clicks the horses into motion without waiting for too much, confirmation. But yes, it would seem that literally drove out of nowhere and has kind of made its way onto the little path that leads up to the Vistana encampment. Urvir, you probably could get your modifications as well as you guys get back into town. But yes, I think for now we'll probably wrap there. But it seems as though you have an objective. We can kind of, unless there is anything super specific you'd like to hit in Berez, we can deal with that in kind of narration if you'd like. Or we can talk as well. Relda would have headed there to kind of scout it out. So we can have her give you the recon and then decide whether or not you guys would like to engage directly with that in terms of just session time. But then it does sound like we're destined for at some point, a trip to Kresk to try and fix Von Rechten, but then also for Barovia Village and the Svalich Woods, which I think probably where we'll focus next session. But yes,
Yeah, woods.
thank you for putting up with me and an absurd NPC. But
It's always fun.
I enjoyed every second of that.
he's a good one. That is a bolt on, but I think it's one that's important because otherwise there's a lot of shit you never hear about. But yeah, he's fun. I like him. Goddamn, are there a lot of interesting little DM's Guild additions for all of these classic mods. But yes, thank you all for playing. And as you wind your way
for
towards
running
the
it.
city, kind of getting ready to set out on another excursion, I think we'll wrap there. Yeah, fun. Like I said, go ahead and mark that on your sheet, Akabachi. I think there's just a
Yep,
toggle
there's
on
a
the
square.
5e sheet, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I toggled it. Yeah, I was trying
What?
to think of an animal to like use as an analogy, but I couldn't, so I just talked about it normally.
Yeah.
But I was like, something that would like
It's a tough one. That's
like-
not really like a behavior you
that an animal
see
would
in the
use,
animal can.
but like an
yeah.
animal that would like lull you into a false sense of security and then
Mhm.
strike at you when you think
Should have used a
everything is-
plant.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
plant, like
Venus
like
flytrap, dude.
Yeah, Venus flytrap. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, lured in by beautiful flowers and tantalizing scents.
Right.
Rafflesia.
Kind of like a coyote, man. It's like, hey, man, my friend, come hang out with me.
Well, a Rafflesia is only a tantalizing scent if you're a fly.
Which Strahd sees us as.
Right.
That is true. You are insects as far as he's concerned.
Facts.
But yeah, I don't know. I think this was another interesting session, and I know there was no combat or anything, but
That's cool.
I liked how you guys dealt with that. I appreciate the creative questioning. So good job on that.